All right, let's talk about what's new with containers in Windows Server 2025. Honestly, if you work with Windows applications at all, this is a really big deal, so let's just jump right in. So, first things first, a quick refresher. When we say Windows Server Container, what are we even talking about? The best way to think about it is like one of those universal shipping containers, but for your software. It packs up your application and everything it needs to run into one tidy, isolated box that works pretty much anywhere. It just makes deploying and managing stuff so much more consistent and reliable. But here's the thing, this isn't just another small, incremental update. So what exactly makes the 2025 version such a major leap forward? Well, it really all starts with solving one of the biggest headaches that developers have been dealing with for years. And that brings us to the first and, arguably the most important new feature here. We're talking about a true game changer in portability, something that finally solves a massive point of friction. You see, in the past, it was a pain. If you upgraded your server host, let's say from server 2019 to 2022, you had to go back and rebuild all of your container images just to make them compatible. It was this tedious, time-consuming process. But now, with server 2025, that whole problem is just gone. You can literally take a container image that was built for server 2022 and just run it seamlessly on a 2025 host. So yeah, that is the crucial point right there. You are no longer chained to this constant cycle of rebuilding your application containers every single time the underlying OS gets an update. This finally decouples your app from the host OS in a way that just wasn't possible before. Think of all the time and effort that's going to save your teams. It's huge. And this amazing new portability, it isn't just for brand new shiny applications. Not at all. It's actually designed to support your entire application portfolio. Got an old but super critical IIS web app? You can lift and shift it straight into a container. Building new modern microservices? It's optimized for that too. This really does bridge the gap between your old stuff and your new stuff. Okay, so portability is obviously a massive win. But beyond that, Server 2025 also really focuses on making these containers way more powerful, much more secure, and just perfectly built for the cloud. We're actually seeing a whole bunch of awesome enhancements. For starters, there's way better support for really demanding workloads, like AI and databases. On the security front, Hyper-V isolation has been optimized, which gives you a much stronger, more secure boundary between your containers. Then, for managing everything, there's deep integration with Kubernetes, which is key. And to top it all off, everything runs leaner thanks to a reduced footprint using Server Core. And that last point about Server Core is really worth hammering home. By building on this leaner foundation, these new containers have much faster start times and a way smaller disk footprint. In today's cloud-native world where you're constantly scaling apps up and down, that speed and efficiency translates directly into better performance and, let's be honest, lower costs. Now let's talk about orchestration for a second. That deep integration with Kubernetes is absolutely critical. Kubernetes is pretty much the standard for managing containers at scale these days. So by making this integration totally seamless, especially with services like Azure Kubernetes Service, or AKS, Microsoft is making it so much easier to manage complex Windows applications in a modern hybrid cloud world. Okay, so the containers themselves are more portable and more powerful. That's great. But what about the actual people who have to build and manage them? Well, this next set of updates is all about giving them better tools and creating smarter workflows for both developers and admins. The whole end-to-end workflow is just becoming so much more integrated and modern. Right out of the box, you can connect securely using a native open SSH server. For management, Windows Terminal is now the default, which is a huge upgrade. And of course, deployment stays simple by using the industry standards we all know, Docker and Kubernetes. So what does this all mean for you, the person sitting at the keyboard? It means a smoother, way more modern command line experience from the get-go. It feels less like a quirky Windows way of doing things and much more aligned with the cross-platform tools that developers today just expect. It basically reduces friction everywhere you look. So, after going through all these new features, let's just bring it all together. What's the big takeaway here? Why does all of this really truly matter? It really boils down to these three things. Windows Server 2025 containers are fundamentally more portable, finally breaking that annoying link between the container image and the host OS version. They are more powerful, ready to take on heavy-duty AI and database workloads while being more secure. And they are more integrated, with modern tools and deep Kubernetes support that just streamlines the entire DevOps lifecycle. And all of that leaves us with one final, pretty interesting question. Microsoft is very clearly tackling major pain points and aligning Windows Server with modern cloud-native principles. So with this powerful combination of legacy support and all these forward-looking features, could this finally make Windows Server the go-to platform for the future of hybrid cloud? It's definitely looking more possible now than ever before.